Hi there, welcome. This is Shruti, and today I want to talk to you all about whether you should be starting a blog or a YouTube channel and what is the kind of approach that you can take to decide which one is best for you. Now, having started both a YouTube channel as well as multiple blogs in the last 5 years, I have a little bit of experience to share with you, and make sure to watch this video all the way until the end because I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how much my YouTube channel made me in the last 12 months versus how much my blog made me in the last 12 months, and that is going to give you a better idea of which one might be right for you. Okay, so the first aspect or criteria that I want to talk about is your personality. So it really does come down to what you feel more comfortable with. Are you someone who likes to be behind the scenes? You are more of an introvert. You're someone who doesn't necessarily like, talking to people or being in front of the camera. In that case, a blog is probably more suited to your personality, and that's going to be something that's going to be in your comfort zone. Or are you someone who is more of an extrovert and or would like to be able to talk in front of a camera or even explain your ideas, thoughts, and processes in front of a camera? Now, again, this is heavily going to depend on what type of blog or YouTube channel you're going to start. So, for example, if you're starting a cooking channel and all you have to do is share your recipes and you're not really actively talking, but you're mostly filming the food that you're creating, in that case, you can go with either a blog or a YouTube channel or both because you don't necessarily need to be in front of the camera. But let's say, for example, you are a relationship coach and you are looking to get more clients and you're deciding whether you should start a blog or a YouTube channel. In that case, I would really recommend looking at the type of personality that you have and the way that you want to grow your business. With that said, I have to say that video is a much faster way of generating trust as well as building relationships online versus a blog, because a blog doesn't really have a face behind it. It's hard to connect to someone that you can't really see or that you don't really have a lot of idea about what they look like or what they do in their day-to-day. Now, granted, social media has given us access to the lives of a lot of vloggers, but when you start a blog in today's day and world, you do need to have a little bit of personalization built in, whether you do it through a social media platform like Instagram or TikTok, where you create your own content, or you do it through a YouTube channel where you regularly publish videos that are specific to your website. Now, the one thing that I don't recommend people start is to do both. Even just attempting to do one is already overwhelming enough. So you don't want to be putting too much into your platter, and you want to make sure that whatever you're starting, you're giving it at least 1 to 2 years of undivided attention before adding on newer methods. Now, when I first started out, I started out with blogging because I felt safe writing, my thoughts as well as expressing those things, and also because I didn't exactly know about the business behind blogging when I first started out. So I was kind of using it as a personal journal or a diary. I didn't really have any direction or motivation. However, as I evolved, I understood that the things that I was writing about, for example, Digital Empires, which is my second blog, was all about digital marketing, and it was a lot harder to explain this in text versus showing people what I was doing. So for example, if I wanted to show a tutorial of how I would use an online marketing tool, it was way easier to do this on video versus doing this on text. Not to mention, you cannot do it on text. You absolutely can. However, it really does come down to what your audience is going to like as well as what you're comfortable with. So you also want to be thinking about where your audience is hanging out and preferring the platform that is more suited to the same. Now, that brings us to the second but super important criteria topic, which is going to be the niche that you're going to start your journey on. So if you are building your niche, which is more YouTube friendly, then obviously the smarter choice for you would be to start a YouTube channel. However, if you're building a niche or a business which is more blog friendly, the smarter choice for you would be to then start a blog. Now, let's take an example of one of the categories in each of these so you can understand this better. Let's say you want to start a gardening business and you want to show everyone how you have a flourishing indoor plant sort of tactics and techniques, and you want to be showing this through specific tutorials and hacks, right? Now, in this case, I would recommend that you start with a YouTube channel because it's a lot easier for people to understand what you're doing with a video versus when you write down step by step, take this plant and cut it into half and then do this and do that, because it just becomes a little bit cumbersome to follow that in the text format. Now, this is not to say that in the long run you can't have both. Like, I'm a great example of having combined both of these things. We have a blog at Digital Empires and we also have a YouTube channel, but in the first year and a half or so, I only focused on my YouTube channel because I knew that I couldn't, distract myself and do both of these things. It wouldn't be fair. Now, let's take an example of something that would lend more to a blog. So for example, you are an author and you are sharing your tips about how to, let's say, publish a book online, right? In this case, your audience is most likely to be audiences that are reading blogs and or are active on blogs, and it's also a topic that you can really easily explain and cover in a written or text format. This means that if you are in the author book publishing niche, it makes a lot more sense for you to start out with a blog versus a YouTube channel. Now, what happens if your niche is actually relevant for both of these options? So for example, if you are someone who is interested in starting a vegan nutrition blog and you also want to kind of start a vegan nutrition YouTube channel, you absolutely can do both. And in this case, I really would recommend what I said. Just start with one of the channels that you feel more comfortable with and add a secondary channel after a year or so, because by then you would also have built up a little bit of understanding of how that medium really works, how to grow your audience on that medium, as well as how you can translate that audience into a new channel. Now, I have to say, when it comes to growing your blog versus growing your YouTube channel, these are two completely different monsters and they need to be dealt with completely differently. The strategies that you use to grow your blog and to grow your audiences and your subscribers is going to be completely different from the strategy you use when you're growing your YouTube channel. So you want to be making sure that you're starting with a medium that you are more comfortable with and then adding on a secondary medium after a year has passed or so that you have a little bit more of experience in one, and then you can use that experience into starting the other medium as well. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about the third aspect of figuring out which one is right for you, and that is competition. Now, when it comes to the number of YouTube channels in the world, last I checked, there are about 51 million YouTube channels, and when it comes to blogs, there are about 600 million blogs. That means when you are starting out as a blogger, your competition is probably going to be 10x as much as when you're starting a YouTube channel. Now, the reason why this is the case is because there's a higher entry barrier when it comes to starting a YouTube channel, because you do need a little bit more of equipment and you do have to put in a little bit more effort compared to starting a blog. It's a little bit easier to start a blog because you don't have to get any equipment, you don't have to create anything fancy. You just have to, pick a domain name as well as a hosting plan, and you can get started writing your blogs in just a day. However, when it comes to starting a YouTube channel, you do need to have a plan in terms of how you're going to be filming your content. Are you going to be using your phone? Are you going to be using your camera? And lighting as well as microphone, audio. Like, there are lots of different moving aspects about creating a YouTube channel. And even though you can absolutely get started with just the phone that you have, it's still a little bit more effort when it comes to getting on camera and filming things as well as editing them before you can publish them on your channel. Whereas when it comes to your blog, you can get started in just a couple of hours and be writing blog posts, the same day that you start. So there is that thing to think about as well. Even though blogs are easier to start, they're definitely more competitive when it comes to, ranking on Google search versus starting a YouTube channel and then ranking on YouTube search. Now, with that said, I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer, and that is that everything that you want to do online right now is going to be competitive and saturated to some extent because people have been doing this for a while already. So any idea, anything you want to start, there are probably already people who are doing something similar, and that just showcases that there is competition and space for you as well to grow in that particular niche. However, that's also something to think about when you're starting out. So for example, if you are in an ultra competitive YouTube niche, maybe you want to switch your focus to a blog and actually start that first and then move to a YouTube channel and vice versa. Now, from my own personal experiences, I can tell you that it was way easier for me to start ranking on YouTube versus ranking on Google for my blog, specifically in the beginning. So I think for both my blogs, it took me about 12 months to start ranking on Google, and even when I was ranking for really low volume keywords, which meant that I wasn't able to get a lot of traffic organically from Google, and hence I had to focus my effort on Pinterest and so on. And you can find a ton of videos on my channel to check them out as well on how to grow your blog with Pinterest. But what I'm trying to say is that it was way easier for me to rank my YouTube channel in the first 6 to 12 months. In fact, I think my first video started to rank after about 6 months. So I started my channel in about Jan of 2020, and I started to rank in YouTube search even for competitive keywords which had a high volume somewhere around the middle of 2020. Now, I have to say I was quite consistent in my YouTube strategy, and that was definitely something that would have helped. And again, the quality of the content you're putting out is going to play a huge role here as well. So even if you are in a very competitive blogging space, but the quality that you're putting out is way better and you are knowing how to leverage the search engines, you're going to be able to rank faster than someone who doesn't know how to do it. Now, I share a lot of my tips on how to get started blogging and really how to grow your blog and monetize your blog inside my course CEO Blogger Academy, and you can check out the link for that in the description box below. There's a special offer going on right now and it's not going to be around for long, so make sure to grab that deal if you're interested in starting a blog and monetizing it the right way as quickly as possible. Okay, so that brings me to the fourth and final factor, which is monetization methods. So how can you actually monetize both of these mediums? So when it comes to YouTube, the most common way of monetizing it is through AdSense or through running ads on the channel. So maybe before you started watching this video, you had an ad pop up, and maybe even in the middle there were some ads that popped up. That is basically when you partner up with YouTube and they run ads on your channel and they give you a certain percentage of it every single month, which can then kind of sum up to a neat income. When it comes to your blog, you also have the possibility to connect with Google AdSense and start making money with them. And there are also multiple other ad platforms through which you can actually start generating money on your blog. Now, when it comes to how much money you will make, it really depends on your niche as well as how popular your channel or your blog is. So there are niches such as finance, marketing, entrepreneurship, which generally tend to pay more when it comes to, ad revenue, versus niches such as hobby niches, which are smaller and don't have a huge audience. So if you're relying on ad revenue, it really is going to come down to how many views that you have on your blog or on your channel every single month and which niche and which audience you're catering to. So is your audience based in higher income countries or are they based in lower income countries? You can have a channel with 1 million subscribers, but if all of those 1 million subscribers are from a lower income country, then your income is probably going to be less than what somebody might be making at 100,000 subscribers with a high income country. So the difference can really be 10 to 20x, if not more, depending on where your views are coming from, simply because advertisers tend to rank audiences based on their spending power, and generally people who are in higher income countries spend more online, which is why they're valued more, and that's why people make more money on ads when their audience is focused in higher income countries. Now, what happens when you don't really want to rely on ad income and you also want to rely on other streams of income? In that case, we'll talk about a couple of different streams of income as well that you can generate with both your blog and your YouTube channel. Now, I have to say, when it comes to the second stream of income, which is sponsorships, they generally tend to be more lucrative on YouTube versus on the blog, simply because, as I said, there's much less competition on YouTube, so it's easier for you to stand out and easier for you to build a brand, and a video kind of lives for very long, so you can negotiate a higher deal because it's going to be a lot more challenging for you to create that paid video versus just mention someone's name in a blog or just add a link to them. So if you're looking for brand deals and partnerships, you would probably face a lot less competition on YouTube, which means you can make more money through brand deals and sponsorships on YouTube versus when you have a blog, specifically in the beginning when your audience is small. Another popular method through which people make money on both YouTube as well as their blogs is through affiliate marketing, which basically is when you add a link to a cool thing that you use. So for example, I add a link for the camera that I'm using right now, and I create a video or a blog post about how cool this camera is, and I tell you to go and click on it, and when you buy that camera, I get a small commission, let's say from Amazon. Now, I have to say both blogging and affiliate marketing can work really, really well because depending on your content and how well you're able to convert your audience, both of these platforms have the possibility to generate a lot of income through affiliate marketing. There are YouTubers who are generating tons of income through affiliate marketing, and there are also bloggers who are doing the same. So it really will come down to how good you are with your content and how well you can convert your audience into customers and into commissions. Now, one of the streams of income which also is not talked about a lot, and that's the one that I focus on inside my course CEO Blogger Academy, is digital products. And this is personally one of my favorite streams of income, and this is something that I've built both with my blog as well as with my YouTube channel. So I'm going to be shortly sharing the numbers of what I made on both of these aspects so that you can get a little bit of comparison of how much money I made on YouTube versus what I made on my blog. But first, let me walk you through my strategy. So when it comes to generating income online and making that money through ads, through affiliates, through sponsorships, a lot of it relies on third-party platforms where you have to sign up for a particular platform, and once they accept you and you have the requirements met, that's when you start generating an income. However, when it comes to selling your own digital products, it's something that you can set up once and you can kind of be in maintenance mode for the rest of the couple of years and kind of continue to generate passive income over and over again. Now, I wouldn't say that passive means free or no effort, because there is a lot of effort that goes into setting up these income streams. streams. But what I'm trying to say is that they're a little bit smarter when it comes to leveraging your time. So instead of having to create one video every single month for a brand, you are selling your own, let's say, workshop, or selling your own ebooks, or selling your own guides, and you are doing that automatically through either your blog or your YouTube channel every single month. Now, personally, I've had a lot of success doing this both with my blog as well as my YouTube channel, and it's hard to really differentiate what came from where because my audience tends to come from both places. So I have an audience that comes from my blog as well as my Pinterest account, and then I also have an audience that comes from my YouTube channel and then goes and purchases my digital products. So it's hard to differentiate it exactly, but I do want to share with you the numbers for the last 12 months so you can get a little bit of idea of what each income stream made for me and where that primarily came from, so that you can understand the potential for each of these channels. So when it comes to how much money I made on my YouTube channel in the last 12 months, specifically from AdSense, so I'm not taking any other revenue, I'm just taking my ad revenue, I made $10,516.98. So that's about $10,500, which equates to roughly around $900-ish every single month, which I would consider not a bad income because I have a pretty small channel, so that is not at all bad. And again, that is something that I continue to make every single month, even if I'm not publishing new videos, because people are always finding my videos, watching them, and the ads are constantly running on the channel. Now let's talk about how much I made with my blog, and I'm not going to go into affiliate marketing and sponsorships and all the other ways of making money because I feel like that kind of is too much to talk about in one video. If you do need more info on that, let me know in the comments and I can create another video as well. So in the last 12 months through digital products alone, my blog made me $120,907.60. So that's obviously 10x the amount of revenue that I made from YouTube. But like I said, my audience really is on both YouTube as well as on my blog. So it's really hard to differentiate exactly what money came in through each of these places. Now, to be fair, I haven't monetized my blog until recently with ad income. So I couldn't really give you a comparison. But if I had to give a comparison of just ad income alone, I would say on average, the YouTube income that I generate with YouTube ads is way higher than what I generate with, let's say, Google AdSense on my other blogs or even other platforms, simply because advertisers on YouTube are willing to pay a lot more because the audiences often can convert really faster and better on YouTube versus on the blog. So the average revenue per 1,000 views tends to be higher, which is why ad income on YouTube tends to be higher as well. So if you're someone who's looking to monetize with AdSense and you're looking to monetize with sponsorships and brand deals, YouTube can really be the better choice for you because you can optimize it for these monetization methods and make a lot of money in the long run once your audience is growing. However, if you're looking for more passive ways of generating income, specifically digital products or affiliate marketing and even ads, then blogging can be a great way for you to do it. Because one of the things that you need to sell digital products is an active email list. And one of the best ways to build an email list continues to be through your blog because it's a lot easier for people to be reading something and you can offer them an upgrade or a freebie or a cheat sheet and they're likely to sign up to your email list, and then you can later sell them different products, whether they're your own or their affiliate products. However, this gets a little bit harder on a YouTube channel, specifically when you're small and nobody is really on the channel, to get people to subscribe and get added to the email list. But again, like I said, this all depends on the niche that you're in, the way that you're creating your content, and how consistent you are with both of these things. So to sum it up, both of these platforms can be really great for you to begin with. You just need to pick one and get started, and then add a second channel or second medium as and when you grow. So personally, if I was starting all over again, I would still probably start with a blog, get my feet wet, understand how the whole digital marketing world works, and then add a YouTube channel on top to kind of boost those views and boost my personal brand as well. But of course, this is going to really come down to what your personal preference is, how you like creating content, and how you want to build your audience. So I hope this video was helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.